Welcome to TexAgs Rewind, presented by Specs in the Rollo Insurance Studio. I'm David Nuno. He's Nick Savage. He's Cooper Patterson. Guys, we had a... why are you laughing so much, Nick? What's so funny in the background?
Just something that can't be brought on air. Yes, something that Callie has brought, and Josh, to my attention. It was actually Josh's joke. Very good joke.
Good joke? Is it something that I would resonate with me?
Maybe not. It's a spinoff of what Cooper was talking about.
Oh, okay. All right. We're talking some music, and yes, I still listen to Kanye West. Anyway, good show today. What was your favorite part of the show, Cooper? I know where you're going.
Jordan Pugh.
Yeah.
Every time Jordan Pugh.
Nick, you can't choose Jordan Pugh now.
Well, I'll go Jamie McCoy because he's on the rewind. Jordan Pugh didn't make the cut this time, unfortunately.
He didn't make the cut? Like there's an elimination process?
Yeah, I have like a bracket. He would actually, that makes it sound like I didn't like his segment. You know who I should have put on there?
Oh my gosh.
DeMontre Moore.
He was great. You know, people in the
country boy Cam Newton, DeMontre Moore.
Yeah.
We need to expand the rewind.
Well, yeah, it's our show. We can go as long as we can go 2 hours if we want.
You're the boss here. Executive decision.
Justin Lanham was on the show.
He's on the rewind.
He's on the rewind. Darrell Dapprich. We found out why Auburn's got all these great metrics, but not winning a lot of football games. That and more. It is the TexAgs Rewind. Let's talk about our performance of the week. And I take my own cues, but sometimes I listen to Coach Elko and kind of hear from him. The first one I had on there was Malik Sealer.
Okay.
Which one were you going to go with?
Theo.
All right, well, he's on the list.
Yeah.
Let's go with Malik Sealer, though. 5 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 2 sacks. Holy smokes. And he was one that Coach Elko talked about.
Yeah, and he should. The only thing I would say, why I would say Theo first.
Well, I wasn't ranking. I was just
I'm
talking.
Just saying why Theo first comes to my mind.
Yep.
Is because I thought Theo's production was just earlier when the game was still
mattered.
In doubt.
Yeah.
You know,
well,
as if it ever was.
Well, let's go to Theo because he led them. Did they have 200 yards receiving by the tight ends? Is that what it was?
Almost.
Almost 200 yards.
They had, I think, the exact number of receiving yards from the tight ends as they did for the rest of everybody else combined.
Well, look at that, 111 yards. He makes some nice. He when he gets the ball, he looks like a big time tight end, right? Like sometimes you forget about him because he'll go a couple games without getting looks. He's got some moves.
Yeah, he's becoming a reliable receiver. Now, here's the deal: he didn't have more than 1 catch in any other game.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we going to be looking back at this as, hey, this was the game where his career turned, where he emerged, or hey, were you playing such an overmatched opponent that he was always getting open? We'll learn about that as the answer to that as in the rest of the season.
I want to do one more. Rylan Kennedy, who he had a nice game as well. The numbers maybe not like they don't jump off the page, but he was an active player. He was certainly an active player.
Yeah, and of course, Amari Daniels.
Oh, Amari Daniels. How about that?
Yeah.
5 carries, but the one big one.
Yeah, 71-yard touchdown. Had an 11-yard run on his first carry, I believe it was. I think, again, you're going to be fine with him at running back. When you're going to be concerned is when he has to, take some time out.
Yeah, I think it's going to be big just because, I think Ohio State's going to go on to be a really good team. So I think, once we get to February and March, I think that's going to look really, really good on our resume. So, a lot of the times beating a team is obviously great, but I think you also want those teams to have some success, right? And I think that this Ohio State team is going to have success for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they've already beaten Texas, so you would think that they're going to have a good year. So A&M should have an outstanding year. What did about that game impress you the most about A&M?
Defensively, they were just special. You could tell that they had a game plan and they stuck to it. And I think they just got Ohio State out of what they were trying to do, and that right there, that performance defensively is what we need to see the rest of the year. And it just shows you how capable we are. That's a very good offensive team. And what we were able to do defensively was phenomenal. So I think Solomon Washington, I've said it before. I've said it probably 3 or 4 times, but I think he is just a very special on-ball defender. And I think he can guard 1 through 5. He really can. And I think he showed that on Friday night.
So, look, it's way too premature to compare Pharrell Payne to Julius Marble, different body types. But one of the things that Buzz mentioned yesterday was when they lost Julius last season, is like it really affected the way they went about their business. What have you seen from Pharrell Payne that gives you maybe optimism for that part of the team?
Just his presence inside. I think, when guys are driving the lane, that's what they're thinking about now. I think last year, Anderson and Solomon and Henry, sure, they can block shots, but you don't have a guy, last year you didn't have a guy like Payne that really sits in the paint and is kind of like a vulture around the rim, and that's what it feels like is he's able to really deflect shots, get his hand on balls that maybe some other guys wouldn't. So I think just his presence alone, even if he's not scoring a ton of points or whatever, I think just his presence alone does a lot for this basketball team.
We've been asking for the receivers to make a step up or do something in the game just to progress us down the field, make it easier on the quarterbacks, and the tight end stepped in right when a hero was needed, so to speak. But no, Theo, I mean, I've said it all year. Anytime our tight ends are given the opportunity and the ball is thrown their way, I've seldom seen drops. I think they make the most of their opportunities, and this Saturday, granted, it wasn't against the best talent to go against, but you can only do what you can do with the opportunities that are given. So Theo and Trey, they both, I think they did an amazing job, and I think they're going to be an asset for us moving forward, especially with not having so much of them on tape and bringing a different dynamic for teams to prepare for.
Well, what is it about Theo? Because, I mean, he's got the size. He's now making the plays. I don't pay attention too much to his blocking. I don't know if you do, Jamie, but just what is it about him that makes him such a special player?
For me, it is the size. I mean, if I was built the way he's built, shoot, I could have played another 5 years at that next level. He has all the intangibles that you look for, and he definitely has a mean streak when it comes to the blocking. If you go back to LSU, when Marcel came in and scored that first touchdown, Theo was back there putting somebody on their back in the end zone. And I've seen it not only in that game, I can recall Florida, I can recall Mississippi State. He has a knack for putting his face in the fan, so to speak, and putting the guy on his back. And you love to see it. And I know from an opposing defensive standpoint, when you see him on the field, you're thinking block. You're thinking that we're getting ready to run the ball, and that's a good asset for us in the fact that to get them thinking one thing and you do the opposite. So the fact that he can become a threat downfield, I doubt you would want to put a linebacker on him. You may have to steal somebody, whether it be I doubt you put a nickel on him in that sense, but you may have to use the safety up and put them on him. So again, he's going to be a big asset for us moving forward, and I hope he continues to progress it and have another game like he did.
How do they have such a poor record in the SEC or just overall, considering the metrics would say otherwise?
It's a great point. It's paying it off in the end zone. Like you look at Texas A&M, for instance, which is a top scoring offense, top 5 in the conference. Auburn's got statistical metrics that show they should be there as well, yet they're at the bottom half in scoring average. And that's the name of the game, is scoring points. Auburn has struggled in the red zone. They bog down in the red zone. They get cute. They try to run wildcat. They throw to different receivers on the field that don't need to be thrown to, instead of just giving the ball to Jarquez Hunter. Case in point, 1st and goal from the 10 against ULM last week. They throw it 3 times. And at that point in the game, Hunter had been averaging 9 yards a carry. You don't need to go wildcat. They missed field goals in the red zone. They've switched field goal kickers. They've turned it over, interceptions, fumbles. So all those things that are self-inflicting, and also I think trying to get too cute in the red zone, has not paid off or equated to points when Auburn should have a lot more points because of those things that are measurables that should translate to 7 points are not. And that's the problem. You got to score to win, and I don't care how good you look statistically and how many yards you get between the 20s, Auburn's not getting it done in the red zone for a variety of reasons.
I don't want to overrate A&M here, although I love overrating them properly rating them. But could this win, if Auburn were able to get it, galvanize that program in that locker room, considering it would set up a huge matchup for Alabama and what that could mean for being bowl eligible? Or could it have the adverse effect? If A&M and goes takes care of business, like guys are jumping off ship, they're not going bowling. It's second straight bad season under Hugh Freeze. Like, kind of take me through what this game could mean either way.
I think the only thing this game could do is be a positive benefit for Auburn. As far as, that ship has already sailed. I think a lot of Auburn fans have conceded that Auburn may go 4-8. And even though that happens, they've done a really good job of keeping that recruiting class together. There are some guys that will portal, but for the most part, it's amazing that he's kept this team together and has got them buying in on his vision.
Super Coop, tell the people what to do.
Man, it's real simple.
Don't drop your mic, though. Don't knock it off.
By the way, he did drop his mic on the show today, and it was a loud explosion.
All right, I'll hold on to it.
All right.
No, but we gotta like the video. We gotta subscribe. We gotta comment. What do we gotta comment?
What was the most cringiest moment of the show today?
It's a good one. Probably when I dropped the mic.
Yeah.
And then we gotta share. Tell everybody you know.
Tell the people what you know. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch up with you next time.